Today on Food Journey, we're making hors d'oeuvres. Some retro and some new. 3 recipes to tantalize your guests before you feed them the feast. Pen and paper ready? Let's go. Hello again and welcome to Food Journey. Today I'm going to be serving up some hors d'oeuvres. And when I say hors d'oeuvres, I'm talking about those beautiful little tidbits that you offer your guests before the meal. Now, you don't want them to be so full that they can't enjoy the main meal, but you want to keep them salivating for the real deal. And I think today our mixture of old school and new are going to tickle their fancy beautifully. Now, let's have a look at that menu. First up, it's the good old samosa, followed by some delicious satay beef kebabs, and finally, a Mediterranean treat, hummus platter. Samosas actually originated in the 10th century in the Middle East and were called sambosa, a traveler's snack really. As the recipe crossed worldwide, its popularity brought it to India, where most of us understand its base there. Minced beef, vegetables, feta, pistachios are popular fillings. Hello and welcome to the kitchen. I'm really excited to do this one today. It's samosas. Now, we've seen samosas filled with meat, samosas filled with vegetables, filled with chicken, but the real traditional samosa is filled with potato and peas, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm starting from scratch, and I'm going to be making not only the filling, but the dough as well. I think it's worth it when you have special guests over, and you can kind of have bragging rights too, that you did everything by yourself. So let's get started making the dough, and then we'll move on to the filling. Making the dough is easier than you might imagine. It's 4 things really: salt, flour, oil, and a bit of water, and some technique. So starting off with 2 cups of flour. 1 cup, twice. Let's do that. And what I always like to do is actually put it down, lower myself, and make sure that I've got eye level 1 cup. So that's correct. And we can go ahead and tip that in. And then repeat. There we go. Correct. Now all we do is whisk this together. And you want to make sure that you do this well, because there's nothing worse than having a bite of very salty pastry. So that's incorporated. The next thing is to add 1/4 cup of oil. I'm using vegetable oil, but if you've got ghee, that's really good to use as well. Not everybody has access to that, so we'll use what we have and just mix that in. We need to get the oil distributed throughout the whole bowl. So we're not only going to use the fork, we're going to switch around and use our hands as well. So really just break it up. And you want to lift it, okay? Because we're trying to make crumbs, keep it aerated and not clumpy. You see how it's all becoming lovely and crummy, crumb-like. So lift and separate. This is a labor of love, really. You just have to keep on doing it. with passion and with purpose until we have the perfect crumb. So we have this at the right consistency now, a nice crumb. And the oil in there is going to help to bind it all together when we start adding our 1/4 of a cup of water, just slowly, bit by bit. So I'm mixing this with a fork to start, and later on we're going to need, once it's formed a cohesive dough, more water, more mixing. You can see it starting to come together. Last bit of water. And then it's really time to get your hands in and start bringing it together. Keep at it, because it will come together, okay? Have faith. Let's get straight into kneading this with the heel of our hand. And you can see it's already forming a dough. Keep at it. Now place this in a bowl and cover for 30 minutes. For the filling, we'll be using the following ingredients: coriander and cumin, garam masala, turmeric and chili flakes, garlic and green chili, pre-boiled and cubed potatoes, roasted and salted cashews, yum yum, and an onion. All these together make a delicious cocktail for maximum flavor, which translates into enjoyment. It's time to make that delicious filling now, and as I said, we're going for the traditional one, which is potatoes and peas. I'm using frozen peas, and I'm using one ingredient that's really going to give it some zing, and that's cashews. These are dry roasted, and I hope I don't finish them before we need them. So let's go through the motions now for a filling. It's important for you to cook them a bit. This is 2 tablespoons of oil. My pan's already a bit hot. And we're going to start with our spices. This is coriander. I'm using my eyes to measure out about a tablespoon. This is garam masala. Let's have a tablespoon of that. Cumin, tablespoon. Chili flakes and turmeric. I like it hot, as you know. And there we go. And you can see on gentle heat, we're not burning them, but we are simply toasting them off to release the oils and the beautiful smell too. Into this, our garlic, chilies, and onions, all of them. And give this a lovely saute. This isn't supposed to be a greasy filling. Add them to this mix. And give this all a nice mix. You can see the potatoes changing color, which is really pretty. Our peas, these are frozen. lemon juice and water, 1/4 cup of each, and pouring that in. Give it a mix. Kind of loosening everything up. And for that added kick I was talking about, some beautiful roasted cashews. Let's just give these a lovely crush. It's all about combining these ingredients to create a non-greasy, tangy, clingy filling you'll be pleasantly surprised about. And while we're at it, how about some simple and easy to make sweet chili sauce, made simply by adding your favorite pepper sauce to ketchup. Cut your rested dough in half, and then into 3 for each half. And now you can form 6 balls, which will translate to 12 samosas. Roll these out into about a 4-inch wide disc. And now cut out as perfect a circle as you can. And then cut that in half. I have some water here, and what I'm going to do is just wet the edge, because this is going to act as a glue when I fold them. And what you want to do is fold one to the middle, fold the other one slightly on top, and press closed, and pinch that end so none of our filling falls out. There we go. And then sit that between your thumb and second finger. With our mix ready, you want to fill your samosa. Not all the way to the top, because we've still got to close that up. The rounded edge here, we need to wet again with a bit of water. And then we bring the back to the front, like so, and close it all up. And there is one samosa. So we're going to continue putting this under our plastic with the second one. Let's go through the motions again. Drop them in hot oil, giving them space. And when they're golden brown, remove. And wait in anticipation as they cool down. Well done! Beef basically has 3 large sections, which are primal cuts. And what you get at the butcher is cut up. And these are called subprimal cuts, your steaks and roasts, etc. The front is the forequarter, and the back of the cow, the hindquarters. Cuts furthest from the horn and hoof are tender, like your ribs and loin. The toughest parts of the cow are the shoulders and leg muscles because they get the most workout. Top side, which is what we're using, is the top inner thigh and is muscly. We're using this because it's not as expensive as fillet, which is softer and doesn't need any of this manipulation. I'm cutting a 1 centimeter thick piece of beef, making sure that I cut across the muscle and not the same direction as. And then we're going to start giving it a beating, firmly in an outward motion, spreading it and also tenderizing it at the same time. And then slice thin strips. Careful to continue cutting across the muscle. So we'll need a little bit of oil in this, just so it doesn't stick to the pan. So let's get them in our hot ridged pan. Sizzle, sizzle. And it's all slightly charred and nice. Yummy. Peanut butter, and we need 3. For our satay sauce, you'll need 3 tablespoons of natural peanut butter, a tablespoon of dark soy, and the same of fish sauce for salt and umami taste, as well as some heat, my favorite chili flakes, some coriander powder, and a teaspoon of sugar. 1 cup of creamy, delicious coconut milk. And stir this all gently in with love. Low heat on the fire, please, because we don't want to boil it. So we don't want it to bubble. Take it off. Turn off the fire. And then our final bit, the juice of 1 lime. In that goes. Strange combinations, but beautiful taste. Well, they say the proof of the pudding is in the tasting, and we're definitely going to do that for these satay beef kebabs. Are you ready? Satay, cheers. I'm loving that peanut taste on the beautiful meaty kebab. Delicious. Okay, everyone, off you go. I've got lots more to eat. Now my last hors d'oeuvre, hummus. This Moorish Middle Eastern delight is a treat for the taste buds with all its dimensions of texture. With a chickpea base, we'll be making this one from scratch. And I won't be missing out on any of the accompaniments either. We'll need our blender for this one, so I'm just gonna plug it in and get it ready. And chickpeas. You can buy chickpeas that are already blended if you like, but I like starting from scratch and just doing everything in the blender. These are in brine, so remember that means a salty element, okay? So don't go overboard with salt when you're seasoning. To that, I'm adding about 2 cloves of crushed garlic Most important is tahine or sesame paste, and you'll need 3 good tablespoons. This is a semi-thick consistency, but if you want it thicker, it's better to use pre-blended chickpeas in a tin. Now just pour this into a bowl and it's ready for the other ingredients. So this is a beautiful smooth consistency, kind of half and half, not too runny and not too thick, enough to cling to this beautiful pita bread. So the additions, definitely a good pinch of salt. You can always add more if you need it. Definitely, for me, an addition of some cumin, because I just love the taste of that within. Changes it from being bland to fabulous. Lime juice, essential. The juice of 2 limes to start. If you want it tart, have more. Olive oil, essential. It's a good 1/4 cup. And then gently mix that all together like this. And when we're sure that it's all blended in, we want to give it a little bit of a taste. Like any good cook. Let's see. Yummy. Okay. I think I can correct mine with a little bit more salt and a little bit more lime juice. And we're decorating with beautiful fresh veggies and pickles.
Well, I've had so much fun today showing you all those beautiful hors d'oeuvres, and I hope now when you have a party or even a little gathering, you'll have some new ideas of what you can serve. From us at Food Journey, we thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Food Journey has a new Instagram. It's FOODJERNY @Food Journey. So if you were following us before, please come and follow us here now